All right, folks, what's up? I hope your week is going well. Happy Friday. We've made it to the end of the week. Finally. It's been a crazy week, too, but it's just the way I like it. I wouldn't want it any other way. Classes started. Working a lot. Glad to see January and February come and go. Get ready for March and spring. That's what I'm talking about. Check this out. My favorite part of the song. Little Papa Roach right there. Anyways, let's get right to it, folks. Get through this Friday. The answer to the previous trivia question was, of course, resigning or quitting. And, of course, we're talking about Pope Benedict the 16th, I believe, is the right title there. The resignation of Pope Benedict the 16th took effect on February 28th, 2013. That was the focus of the trivia question, and that was following his announcement that he was going to do so on the 11th of the same month. So he announced it, and it went into effect on February 28th. He announced to the world that he had made a decision of great importance for the life of the church, citing his deteriorating strength due to old age and the physical and mental demands of the papacy. Good for him. He had the wherewithal to know, in the mental state of mind still to know that he was, it was overwhelming, and he needed to step down. Good for him. He also declared that he would continue to serve the church through a life dedicated to prayer, quote unquote. His resignation made him the first pope. This was pretty cool geek factoid. His resignation made him the first pope to relinquish the office since the pope was forced to resign in 1415, folks. That's some 600 odd years, right? That this had never been done before. He said, "Deuces, I'm out. Step down. Go enjoy retirement." All other popes in the modern era have held the position from election until death. And he decided he had enough. This was huge news on a global level, folks. I remember very distinctly when this happened. News organizations packed up and relocated to camp out outside of Vatican City when this happened, and especially when the new pope was going to be chosen. I'll get into that a little bit later. Politicians around the globe reacted to the resignation of the Pope. Most praised his service, as you can imagine. I remember President Obama doing just that. And some expressed shock and regret. I think the leaders of Italy were very upset about it. In the years of his resignation, Pope Benedict took up residence at the Papal Palace of Castle Gandolfo, I believe I'm saying that right. I'm probably not, but absolutely beautiful place. And they decided this, that he was going to, this is where he would reside in his resignation and his retirement. Again, it hadn't been done in 600 years, so this is where they decided he would go. This is situated on a just gorgeous 135-acre complex of 17th century buildings that the Vatican actually acquired in 1596 as a debt payment. Guy who owned this place couldn't pay his debt, so he paid it off by handing it over to the Vatican. There's a picture of it there in the lower insert. Again, just 135 acres of just gorgeous, gorgeous campus. This campus overlooks Lake Albano. Again, I'm probably butchering that. And it used to serve as a summer residence and vacation retreat for the current serving pope. Okay, so it was already well within the Vatican system. And it has an observatory on its campus as well, which I thought was pretty cool. Pope Benedict was eventually relocated to an area within the Vatican City used to house nuns later in mid-2013, once his health began to decline even further, kind of as a hospice type of a act, if you will. They just brought him back to Vatican City. Now, to choose a new pope, this is where this history gets really interesting, folks. To choose a new pope, the Catholic Church looks to what are known as the College of Cardinals, which are the church's most senior officials who are appointed by the Pope. Okay, so they usually are ordained bishops. And there are currently, my research brought out these numbers, there are currently 203 cardinals from 69 countries. 14 of those that sit on that Committee of Cardinals or College of Cardinals are from North America. Pretty cool, interesting facts there. They are summoned to a meeting. If you've never have studied this process or have seen this process in 2013, like this played out on national TV. They are summoned to a meeting at the Vatican, which is followed by the papal election, also known as a conclave, which is literally in meaning that they lock themselves away until a new pope is chosen. A new pope is voted upon. And this is a strict process. I think my research indicated that this takes place in the Sistine Chapel, actually. The election of a pope is conducted in conditions of strict secrecy, unique in the modern world. No other organization really kind of goes through this process. The cardinals are shut away in the Vatican until they reach an agreement to nominate a new pope. The election process can take days and even longer. Again, in 2013, when this played out on TV, I remember all of the news organizations broadcasting live from right outside the Vatican City. In previous centuries, it had gone on for weeks or months, and some cardinals have even died during the process. My goodness gracious. Take a break. You don't have to die. The threat of excommunication actually hangs over anyone attempting to break the silence of this process. My research said, I don't know how true that is, folks, but I'm sure in modern day they're allowed to take breaks and so forth, and probably discuss it among themselves. But there's probably some discretion and autonomy that's used as far as releasing bits of information to the public. The only clue, this is interesting, and this still in fact does go on today, as has gone on in the past. The only clue about what is going on inside the Sistine Chapel when they're voting for a new pope is the smoke that emerges twice a day from burning the ballot papers. Black smoke signals that there has been that there is a failure, that a consensus has not been met, and the traditional white smoke means that a new pope has been chosen, whose identity is then revealed to the world. And in today's day and age, they put dye in the smoke, but they still maintain that tradition of black smoke or white smoke. Again, I'm interested in picking your brain if you remember this playing out in 2013 when Pope Benedict resigned, and how big of a deal, if you remember how big of a deal it was. Some pretty cool geek factoids. A specially designed motor vehicle, you guys may not know this, used by the Pope of the Catholic Church during public appearances is actually called the Pope Mobile. That's the actual name for it. There's a picture of it there at center point in one of my inserts, and you may have seen this before. It's usually a white vehicle, bulletproof, ever since Pope John Paul was shot. I remember when that happened too. Yes, I am that old enough. Pope Benedict XVI died in Vatican City. Like I mentioned, he was eventually brought back to Vatican City at the age of 95. And that was just recently. That was New Year's Eve of last year. I'm wondering if you've ever been to the Vatican City. I have been to the Vatican City. I've been inside the Vatican City. I've toured the Vatican City. I've been inside Sistine Chapel. I have been in the presence of the Pope on Christmas Eve, his Christmas Eve service, and who walked by and blessed me. So I definitely feel privileged in that regard, for sure. All right, folks, as I'm fond of saying right here, right now, let's get on to a brand new day. It's Friday. A little bit of rain coming through, but it'll pass quickly, I'm sure. We get to the weekend. That's what I'm talking about. Get to the first weekend of March, man. Let's have a party. March 3rd. Here we go. Brand new trivia question. On this day, in 1847, after a lengthy and difficult process of collecting payment, either in advance by the writer, upon delivery by the recipient, or partially by both parties, Congress authorizes these to be printed and sold to supposedly simplify things. And that's only if it didn't get lost. Have a good day, folks. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate every one of you. Peace out.